Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. The sun is now in Pisces, and Pisces is the moon. And so the moon, which is in your sign, you're getting completely from the sun direct the subconscious, the feelings that are now emerging for you to see. How can I be a star that is bringing the light, because the sun is a dwarf star, to the people on a more effective way? Because the further out something is, the more focused it is. So a star is, of course, a big sun. And so here you have a really strong energy through the moon, right, to understand what it is that you now need to do so that you can be this star of hope and new endeavors. Now we reading again to the right. Last time you had Aquarius, Sun and New Moon in your sign, and that's the moment where you have arrived in the Sun and in the Moon, right? It was like this. And now you're going out again to the full moon, which you're going to have in your opposite sign, which is Leo. So 17, 18, 19, the succession here of these three cards coming together and giving you the information that you now get through this reading, hopefully. I'm not doing the reading because the moon is in your sign. I'm doing the reading because the moon is the subconscious, are those feelings that I can then transmit to you. That's why I'm choosing the day where the moon is in your sign to give you your reading. Now, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is the hanged man in the tarot. So we're gonna feel into what Pisces is wanting to bring you, but also what you can do so that you can really let go into a deeper spiritual level. And you are ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the Fool, is that new beginning, is also the change that we sometimes dread, but when it's there, we're like, oh, why was I so against it? It's much better. So the Fool, right, we're going to look at that. And so the yoga position for the moon for Pisces is the fish pose, up dog, down dog for sure. And for you, I picked this side plank. I stretch myself up into the sky with one arm and one leg, and the others are firmly grounded here on planet Earth. You're the 8th star here, and you creating the light for the people around you. So that is to the constellation right now. You are the King of Swords. Is your birthday between January 9th and February 7th? Then is he your court card? Here we have two versions, and it looks like Aquarius is not just the people are like crazy all of a sudden that they want to be addressed as what they are, but it's kind of like here as a sign we want to be more specific of who we are. Now you would think that this is something modern. It is not. I have a very, very old deck, and this old deck, the Visconti Sforza Tarot, and you can see it's old. It's from the 15th century. Every king has a masculine and a feminine perspective. Every queen, masculine and feminine. Every knight, masculine and feminine. Every page, masculine and feminine. And so that's where we are, right? So observe and see, are you more a samurai, or are you someone that puts stars on its own planet? You are then, of course, as an Aquarius, the visionary. You bring the new ideas, the new vision to us, and you're the 11th zodiac sign and also connected to the 11th house of community and technology. Just that you understand, right? Now, important for you to know that the dates for the sun in Aquarius and the dates for the court cards are different. So there might be an overlapping to another soul aspect deep within you. Have a look in the description below. That's where I have listed the dates. Now back to the last reading where you had the Aquarius new moon, sun and new moon in your sign. The message was you are shifting from a young king of swords to a wise god rare. And I looked if there is a card coming back today, and there isn't. So I think you cleared it all, right? Actually, there is one. I'm just noticing it. Okay, one card is coming back. And for you to understand that when a card is coming back, right, it's kind of like, I really want to talk to you, and so please listen. And that's why I always integrate the last reading with this one, so that it feels like cyclical energy that is reconnecting you again and again to the now. So we begin the reading. We begin with the King of Swords. Right now I'm just going to take this card, right? I'm going to switch around. So the first card that is coming up is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, as you can see, goes to the right, but always remember that's an outer perspective of the card. When you then become the card and you're looking down, you're like, oh, she's going to the left, right? So there is a way of actually looking at the card and then becoming the card. So here, when we look at it, it's going to the right, it's going extroverted, exactly what now the full moon is wanting you to do, to go back out again. And it's almost like you are light as a feather, taking that step out to declare the female aspect. And it's interesting that I picked this one first, because in the German reading yesterday I was picking up the King of Swords first, but then I switched, right? But it's working. It's almost like you are kind of like, okay, I gotta stop putting these stars on my planet. I am a star. I don't need more stars on my dress. I am now going out there, and what I have learned, right, all the light that I was able to harness, I bring out to the world, and I declare now here through Gemini, the communication that you want to bring to the women, the independence, the understanding you gotta stand up. If you are treated in a way that you don't find appropriate, then you gotta stand up. Now, what is Gemini bringing you? And this is really beautiful because it's the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo, and Virgo is very independent, and so you're really declaring your independence, declaring the independence of all women. Women have to have something that they feel proud of, and if it's guarding their children, working for their children, taking care of their children, then it's beautiful. Do it, right? Because it's kind of like, we don't all have to become like a lawyer or etc., all these kind of jobs. If I'm doing what I'm doing at home really good, then great. That's it. Every woman is supposed to live their dream, and that's what you are bringing into this world. Look at that. It's kind of like there is this queen, and then she becomes this knight, and it's like action oriented, and now it's like, and I am taking the money. I am plucking the money, and I have done it. And here's the white bird, here's the feather of the white bird. It's so beautiful. So here you are the 11th zodiac sign, right? And here, this is the number 3. The 3 and the 9 is the 12, and the 12 is the Hanged Man, is Neptune. In your dreams, you are getting this message that you gotta go out there and help the women, right? If you're female King of Swords, right? Now, when I put him here, it looks different. You see that? So he will guard these women. He is here for these women. I am a samurai, and a samurai only takes action when he feels threatened, but he will never start a threat, right? And so you see here the 12 comes into the 3, so 3rd of November or the 11th of March could be a date. What is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing? You get the Shaman of Cups, which is Scorpio, to the right. And the Shaman of Cups, Scorpio, the King of Cups, right, is someone that is concocting here a really special brew. And in that brew, you see that he is going also to the right. He's pointing literally like, yes, now emotionally show yourself again. And so the 3 and the 8 is the 11. Then you have an 11-11 portal here. And in that 11-11 portal, you will see that it doesn't matter what you do, just do it. And so Scorpio is helping you to find your inner teacher in the 11. What is Scorpio saying? He's bringing you the High Priestess. And so the 8 and the 2 is a 10. The 10 is a completion. There's a new cycle that is now really strongly coming to you. So accept it, right? And then the 10 and of course the 12, that's the 22. The 22 is the Fool, because the Fool is everything and nothing, is the 0, but it's also the 22nd major arcana. So the Fool is a portal. And we have a portal now with all these cards, right? The 3 and the 9, the 12, here the 8 and the 2, the 10 and the 12, the 22. So here is a portal where you understand, go deep, right? This is going deep with your emotions into bringing this independence, the High Priestess, and look here, Venus in Virgo. I mean, it's like you are on a mission to bring out into the world the message. But what is the High Priestess saying? She's bringing you back to the King of Cups. So I'm just going to take these top off because otherwise I get a cramp. And so now you see that the High Priestess is between here, the King of Cups, and then the King of Cups that is here. And have a look. This King of Cups is facing to the right. This King of Cups is facing to the left. So the High Priestess is framed by Scorpio. And Scorpio is intense. Scorpio is connected with Pluto. And Pluto is in your sign for 20 years. So you're going to have to look deep into your emotions, deep into the face of the moon, deep into your intuition. And you have to, right? You cannot just say, no, I don't want. It's there because Pluto is in your sign. It's like you're having constantly a guest around you. And that's what Pluto is. Pluto is the mystic. And here comes Scorpio twice from the right and from the left. So there's no escape. It's very powerful. But you are also seeing here that Gemini is helping you to bring the message out. And you see now, if we take it like this, it's like, whoo, it's going out there, right? And you have to be intuitive. You have to listen to all the signs that are coming, and that's what's so beautiful in all of this, right? And so, of course, we had, until the Empress, we had the 22. The 22 plus the 8 is the 30, and the 30, that's the Empress. And the Empress is Venus. Venus knows what she wants. And so here you go and are realizing what you gotta do. It doesn't matter, masculine, feminine. You're a human being. Just do it. What is Uranus saying? Uranus is bringing you the Four of Pentacles, which is Sun in Capricorn. And of course, Capricorn is the work is understanding that in the Four we gain a stability in what we do. But since you have a 0 here, this is a 40. And understand, right, that you learning something here to arrive. It's almost like you took the path down into being stable. What is coming from your deck? The Ten of Swords, which is Sun in Gemini. Now it's really interesting because you had the Knight of Swords, which is a Gemini, right? So maybe you want to have a look if you know someone that is a Gemini. And still this declaration that you have, that you want to bring out, is kind of bringing you to the brink of like, oh my God, all these needles are sticking into my hair. And I feel like there is something that's a little much. So the 10 and the 4 is the 14. That's Sagittarius, that's temperance. That's finding the balance, right, between giving and taking, inhale and exhale. If you have a lot to think about, and of course in sense of finances, then you need to check why. The 5 appears here, right, and the 5 senses are then clear that through the 5 senses until here you're like controlled by this dimension. But you can go to the third eye, and from there you find the liberation. What is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing? You're getting the Fool reverse. Look at that. So reverse, here's in a handstand, and you see a lot of mystical items here because, I mean, he's everything and nothing, and you see the Amnamita Mascaria, but he's facing down. So it's almost like you are kind of like, I need to begin, right? How do I begin? And so you have the Fool to let you know that, yeah, be foolish enough to overcome that this stability is there, and that now you can create something new, right? And so of course here the 3 and the 10 is the 13. That's Scorpio, the death card, and in that death is the transformation. If we do something and we learn something and go and dive deep, then we will learn, and in that learning comes of course the clarity. Why am I doing what I'm doing? So what is of course the Fool saying? And this is really interesting. The Fool is bringing you here from the Visconti Sforza Tarot, right? The tarot that had a masculine and feminine king, masculine and feminine knight, comes Leo. So now you are on your way out to Leo again, and here you are having a look at, you don't want this wild creature here. It's almost like you a little afraid of this wild beast, the Leo. And it's interesting because in some decks Leo is the number 8, and in some it's the number 11, and I'm just right now not sure if it's actually, yeah, it's the 11. Oh my God, I forgot, right? So here in this deck, Leo is the 11, not the 8. And so you understand very clearly what is coming here to you. Look at you. You get the 4 and the 10, which is, of course, then the 14, the 5 is left, the 0, 0 here. And, of course, now you get Leo coming, the 11. Now I can also hear this one with these 2 ones, 3 times the 1. And 3 times the 1, you understand very clearly, okay, I gotta take the power in using one after the other, one thought after the other to clear this. Because there's also 0 inside, so you have 1, 2, 3 times the 0. So it's clear, right? You're going to the full moon, you're prepared to wake up right away, and you get like hear all of these thoughts, and you are on the path out there. And yes, you maybe don't want to do that yet because you feel like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, but you can. You can, right? We all can. We all grow into the best version that we can imagine. And so keep imagining, right? Keep going for it. What is the star saying? What is now coming to you through the soul aspect is the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is, of course, a sadness that comes through Mars in Scorpio. Now, maybe because you have here the Scorpio and you had this Scorpio, right? So you have two Scorpios bringing you the intensity or the emotions that are needed for you to awaken. This is being human. This is part of being human, right? And so Mars in Scorpio, you understand that Mars is the part in us that fights sometimes against the tears, right? And you can just say, you know what, I'm gonna let them go. So here the 17 and the 5 is the 22 again. So the 22 is Uranus. You are beginning a completely new path. You are Apollo, sun god Apollo, up here in front of this Taj Mahal, a declaration of love. And she's slightly looking over to you and she's like, oh my God, I didn't know, right? So here are 3 flowers, but 2 are still left. So when you go out there again, you're gonna find the partner, I think, that you are looking for, because I mean, this is the duality, right? But she's the number 6 in this deck. What is coming through Pisces? The Source, and that's the card that came last time up as well. And so you know what to do with this one wand. This one wand is like, take it. This one wand is what he uses to beat this lion. And for me, this card is very strange, right? I'm like, okay, back then, yeah, I'm sure there were some wild people out there. But right now, I'm almost like saying, no, let that wild side come out of you, right? And so there's the 11 and the 1. Again, 3 times the 1, 3 times the 1, and the 1 here in the 10. Right? And so I think you understand what this means, right? The source. Use the source because you're the source. And the 5 and the 1 is the 6. The 6 is self-love. There you find who you really are. The 17 turns into the 8. The 8 and the 6 is the 14 again. The temperance, finding the center, right? And the 5 is left from there. What is coming from the Mother Peace Tarot? We are getting the Sun of Swords again. Now, as you can see, he's here completely a different person. He's like a male, and he's like ruthless, and he treats animals not good, and he stands on these flowers. And it's kind of like really interesting how this is portrayed by someone that is bringing the information out there, whatever she can do to protect the women. And now here comes another side of Gemini, and Gemini, sometimes that's the information, that's the newspapers. They can be liberating, and they can also destroying a human being. And so I think this is what's happening, right? When you are working with Source, you are never working against life. You're always working with life. And so here the 3 and the 1 is the 4 and the 5 is the 9, and the 9 plus the 8 is the 17 again. So you coming up through this path, through this realization. But of course I want to see what is Gemini saying here. And Gemini is bringing you the Tower, right? Here with the Knight of Swords through your deck, you got the 9 of Pentacles, Venus in Virgo. Now you get Mars. This is Mars. This is the Tower. This is when things go. You're having the power to let things go. And this is why here you see that, I'm going to do it like this because it came like this, right? And so you see now that here he is faced to the source, right? And here's the Tower. And with love, things got to go, of people like this, of newspapers like this, of news like this. This is gotta go, right? And you see that here the 16 turns into a 7. The 7 is the emotional intelligence, plus the 3 is the 10. the 10, and the 6 is the 16. Again, the tower. The tower appears here, right? And so you know why you're sad. You know why you see the communication in two ways, and you see the source, but you also see that things go, and when they go, sometimes people resist, and it's not always pretty, right? And so the 7 is here as that, well, we understand really clearly the emotional intelligence is needed. But I also want to know what is bringing you the tower, and the lizard is coming. So the lizard is the animal that brings you as a fire sign into the number 4. And it's saying instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, and a dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception, as if it has a sixth sense. Interesting, that was the 6 that came here, the 5 and the 1, the 6. You see that? So understand that the sixth sense, or the number 6, is always the third eye. And then it says here, although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. Oh, so beautiful. So something is coming here very clearly and letting you know, well, the inner artist is wanting to come out of you. That's why certain things go. And also maybe the intuition that not all information on the internet is good. So listen to that, understand that you're getting help, that you are getting the clear sign that the 6 and the 3 is a 9, right? The 9 and the 4 is the 13. The 13 is again the transformation. The 13 is the 4 and the 16 is the 20. That's Pluto. Oh my God, so Pluto is coming to you and letting you know Pluto is your visitor, and he's gonna do these things, and these things. And all you have to do is connect with Source and get away from big crowds and know that you have now the answer. That if you feel that things are like this or like this, right? You gotta understand that sometimes if you're upside down, that you have to see why. And also when you see things like this, right? Or this, the 4 of Pentacles sometimes is also like we're holding on to money, and money needs to flow always. And so it's really beautiful, the message here, right? You understand the 20 is here. The 20 is Pluto. Pluto is your guest, is with you all the time. So connect with him and understand that he is your helper. That he is your helper, and he will let you know that you can become a star if you overcome certain situations, if you bring the message out there of liberation, of knowing that you are a high priestess, that you are a female that is surrounded by 2 Scorpios. I mean, this is crazy. 2 Scorpios, one is facing you right from this side, and the other one is facing you from this side, and is checking your intuition. Scorpio is connected deeply with Pluto, and that's why it's checking your intuition all the time. And so you gotta know that you're doing the right thing. And remember, the 9 and the 4, that's 13 coins. That's transformation. Money wants to be transformed now. Money doesn't want to be held in a way anymore, right? Money wants to be used. Money wants to be out there. And so that's what's coming here. And so, I mean, the message is so beautiful. Understand clearly that you have a message, bring it out there, and know that you're listening to your intuition. Know that sometimes you need to beat down the wild side and the crazy side, but also let it out there a little bit, right? And maybe that's why this is facing down, right? Sometimes you're a little wild, so just dim it down a little bit. It's okay. It's good. You're here. But also see this. See the lizard and see that he wants and needs sometimes the quiet so that the artist can come out of you. Beautiful reading, right? I hope I see you in the next one. That's when we get the sun in Aries. That's when the spring begins. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.